Hey, Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Okay, what is going on here? Uh, like a little bearish bar here to trigger short and then a quick push up for a long. So orders at 712, which is there above price. So I'd like a little bearish bar in and a second leg down and then a push up. I don't know if we're going to get it though. Scruff, how you doing, buddy? Okay, leg down, little second entry short, come down again. Not sure about that. I don't know whether there's something like that or not. We'll see. Leg down, two legs up. If we can get down here for a second leg, we may get something. Okay, we need to get below that bull bar there, I think. So let me have a look. We got buyers at around about 2.5. There, no, less than that, about 1 3/4. So we got buyers about here, below here. So ideally, I want to come down here, break below there. There is a failure there. Not sure about this. Second entry short stroke failure. It's a bit sideways. It is working by the looks of things. It's a bit sideways. If it gets above there and there, it'll work. But we got a leg down. I wasn't sure we'd have a couple of pushes up and then a second leg down. But okay, so we are getting now. Find a little bit of resistance there. So I want one leg down with a correction and a second leg down. Let's see if we can get a
Order
buy
submitted.
order down here somewhere. I don't like that.
Order
Get out of this. See
canceled.
that quick flick up there? That made me a bit nervous. I don't want orders sat waiting. Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Got a leg down, 2 pushes up. We need another leg down here, or a failed break out of this, something like that. 11 and 12. So there's 11. Just a little bit above 11, actually. No. Yeah, 11 and a quarter. So there, which is 1 tick above here. And there's sellers there. So if we can get a second leg down here, maybe a failed breakout, looking strong, we may get a move up. Oh, that's frustrating. It's all right. I took a trade up here just on one account before the market opens. I just got in really late. I just like the fact that we had a nice correction. It shot back up, took me out, and now look at that. My gut feeling is we're going to get a second leg down. I hate that. I hate it when I CL chart maximize. Hold on a minute. Oh, you friggin' idiot. I hate that. CL. And there's the CL. I hate it when I move it out of view. I can't figure out how to get it down. God, that's pissing annoying. Can't remember how to do it. You idiot. CL chart. Move where? Up here. Oh, come on. Anybody know how to move this? I've hidden it at the top of my screen. I can't remember how to do it. There's the CL chart. If I maximize it, I can't move the damn thing. Oh, I can. There we go. Problem solved. Okay. 2 legs down. We've got 2 legs. See if we can get. There are some buyers up here. Just down here, about 1 1/4. There are buyers there. 2 legs down. Actually, I don't mind this. 2.5. The buyers are there.
Order submitted.
See if we can get some buyers down here. You can see those buyers about 2.5, which is there. Now let's see if we get a quick push up now. Got 2 legs back. We got channel with a break new low. We need a big strong move up now. It's not very strong, is it? So this one may be better. See how this one finishes.
Order
No, I'm going to have
cancelled.
to sit tight here. It may work. It's not a huge risk. It is 2 legs back. I just don't like the way it's struggling. And on this side, it's 2 doges. So I'm going to have to sit back and wait here. It's holding, but it's risky. Super risky, that is. Yeah, there we go. So it's a good leave, that. I bet there'll have been 1 or 2 traders who took that. Probably trade this as a fail breakout if it bounces down here. So there are buyers at 700, which you probably expect. 7,000, sorry. Need to get above that EMA, really. It's gone too far now, I think. It's unfortunate. There have been a few traders trapped there. You're not to know it's going to do that. It's under the EMA anyway, to be honest with you. It's already done its thing, isn't it? How far's it gone? No, is there a small break on this side? Negligible. Wow. Richard, how you doing? Isoflight, how you doing, buddy? Sorry, I didn't see you there. Uh, Weird, isn't it? It's hard to know what's going on now. Thought that was going to take off for a minute. Rodian, how you doing, pal? This is definitely sideways. Doesn't look like a downtrend to me. It's too broad, I think. It's more like just a break, I think. Depends how. Trouble is, the bigger these channels are, the more of a break we get. So it's hard to know. It's just timing it right. Oh, there are buyers there, which doesn't surprise me. Below that bit of liquidity, we've had a really strong push up. I'm sitting tight here. Something I don't like about this is just a bit suspect. Uh, See, depends how you look at this. There's always a possibility of a small overshoot. Now, it is very small. I don't think it's much, but uh, I had an email with Mac once a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he said there's been a very small overshoot, and I'm not kidding. It was as tiny as that. Disco, how you doing, buddy? So it's hard to say whether this thing is having an overshoot, and it may be finding some difficulty getting up, and it may reverse. Who knows? Uh, Okay, so there is a higher low there. I'm not going long into all that. Support, support, support. 21 ticks. It may well go up, but I'm not getting involved in that. Too risky. We're right at the top. There's no room to the highs, to be honest with you. If you're getting a tick above it, what we got? So you get 2.5 points less than that because I've gone bang on it. Oh yeah, maybe 2.5 points at a push. I'm not risking that for 2.5 points. It's gone up too sharp. That for a break of a big channel like that is tiny. So second entry short, maybe a failure here, but I'm staying out of this. You got buyers trapped there. Well, they've just been stopped out now. That's why you can't go in there. It's super dangerous, that is. I'm guessing most people are, oh, you're kidding me. Did someone say they took it? Trouble is, I can't short anywhere yet. We are finding some resistances. This part of the break, who knows? Is it reversing and this is a break? I've got no idea whether to go long or short here, so there's nothing I can do really. It may come rushing down, but there's not a huge amount of liquidity. Uh, uh, hmm. So there is a lower high on this chart now, but there's not much space to the lows. And I don't like this. It's chopping around, which means it can get trappy. There are buyers at 7,000, which is here. We got no space down there. That's more or less a doji. On the right side's a doji, so this could go up or down. There was a couple of traders went short there. I think trading all around this area is risky because we've had a push up, pull back. We could have another push up for the highs. I just don't like shorting when we've been literally from the open, we've been moving upwards. So I completely avoid shorts until I know exactly where price is going. It may well be coming down. There may be a tiny overshoot. It may be a break, 2 legs up with a pullback, a little bit of sideways and a second leg up. We got almost 2 dojis now. So this is, who knows what's going on here. Uh, just not fun. I think this is just a break. 2 pushes up to a new high, I think. Can't do nothing here because of the 2 dojis. There's bound to be some short strap there. There's always, with this up here, there's bound to be shorts. I'm not saying it's that they're going to get stopped out, but I think short in here is just too early. That's my personal opinion. Because it's starting to get sideways and choppy now, which means dangerous. So, let me get rid of some of these. Okay, is this a break, 2 attempts to push high and a reversal? Oh, I got no idea. Now, I'm going to say there's a possibility we could even tweak this slightly so it fits, but then you've got a possible overshoot. I don't know. It's hard to say at the moment. Uh, Just leave that as it was. We've had a break there, a couple of pushes to a new high. Maybe this thing is reversing. Trouble is, I can tweak that and make that fit, in which case this could still go up, or it could come short. There's a possible second entry short there. There are sellers at 7,000. Is that a bad place to go short? Who knows? We've had a break, 2 attempts to push up. We're clearly finding some resistance here. There's definitely buyers down here, around the 4 level, below there. But I really want to go short just yet. Definitely not on that bar, that's for certain. That looks a bit better. Still too risky at the moment. May work. That doesn't look terrible, but this is the fact that we've had a quick, sharp push down is making me nervous. You've got to give this a little bit of time, I think. Okay, that's probably going to push up, but same again. I just don't like this. It's chopping up and down, and it can trap you. Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? Didn't see you there, mate. Sorry. Yeah, it's just super risky around here. Got to be so careful around here. I will say you're going to have a lot of stops up here, that's for certain. I just can't see enough sellers up here, really, which is interesting me to go long. There is a possible failure there, but I don't bloody know. Definitely got short strap there. I don't think this is going to get up. Doji, no good, almost. Yours looks different, does it? Have you reloaded it, bud, have you? Reloaded it. I'll try reloading mine. Any better? I don't know if it looks any different to me. Yours are different as well. I don't know why. I've reloaded it. We're all on the S Marches contract, aren't we? Let's see if we can get a possible short failure here. A lower high, I'd like to see that. Trigger and give us a second entry long. I still think there's a good chance this is going to go up. See if this breaks below here now. Actually possibly stopping out a bull bar on here, which it has. Let's see what happens now. I want to see some big rejection now. Strong buy-in. Which we're not getting. We're going to wait a load of stops in a minute if this continues on. Trouble is, it's a bit dangerous at the moment to trade. Definitely trap in it. You've got a bull bar there. which is triggered, come down. Big bear bar there, which is triggered. Looks like it's pushing up, so it's definitely trappy. Buyers at 95 down here. Sellers at 705 there, which is correct. So we got buyers down here, sellers here, which is why it's creating that kind of choppy stuff. We got sellers at 10 as well. So we got sellers up here, buyers down here. There's a second entry long, stroke higher low there. If that pushes up strong, that's going to hit a hell of a lot. But the trouble is, it's right in the middle of this. Looking at this, my guess it's going to push up, but I'm not getting in because it's very trappy. You can have stops here, stops here, stops here. Bull bar, which came down, didn't break, higher low. So that could rush up there. But the trouble is, because it's so choppy and trappy, it's just too risky. Look already, look. So if you'd have gone long, if you went, if you think if you went long there, trigger just stopped you out. You went short here, you triggered. It looks like it's pushing up. There's a higher low there that's been triggered. Looks like it. So it's definitely trippy. Trippy. That's not the right way. Is it choppy? Choppy and trappy. Yeah. If I had to guess, I'd say based on that higher low in there, I'd say it's going to go long. But then you've got a bear bar there plus a lower high, so you may want to go short. As we've got this two legs up, I don't know. It could go either way. I'd say it's more likely going to go up than down. But that's just a guess, an educated guess. But you're going to have shorts trapped in there, and quite likely there as well. So if it gets above there, it may rocket up. The EMA's flat as a pancake. It could go either way. It's a toss of a coin here. There are more orders up here than down there. 201 contracts at 5. But it could come down, stop out the bull bar, turn up, stop out the bear bars. A lot of buyers with big players keeping it down. Yeah, the best thing to do is just to let them fight amongst themselves. I still think it's more likely going to go up just because there's larger orders up here. That's all. But don't trade that based on what I say. I'm not trading in it. But if it gets above that bear bar there, it may have a push because there is a failure there. Yeah, there's definitely a battle going on there. Second entry long buyers, higher low. Both those bars are active. They've not been stopped out. And both those shorts are active as well. They haven't been stopped out. So there's definitely a battle going on there. I'm almost tempted to crack out some whiskey and popcorn and watch them get on with it. I'm out of whiskey, though, sadly enough, at the moment. It's the first time in I don't know how long. Whichever what it's going to do, I think it's going to either push up quick or push down quick in a minute. Yeah, my guess is it's more likely going to go up. Trouble is, you're getting sellers here now, see? See them there. Oh, they just got yanked. Sellers around the 2-2. Okay, so that's why you can't get in here because it's guesswork. I thought it was going to go up, did the opposite. So uh, nothing you can do. So it stopped out the bulls. Let's see if this closes higher and aims to stop out these. So we've had a push up, a couple of legs down. Is that now going to move up? Your guess is as good as mine. It was a possibility. It may be slowly reversing. I got no idea. Maybe like it's waiting for the news. Yeah, there isn't anything, is it? Is there? So if you decided to buy there, it's triggered you and on its way down again. Uh, yeah, you just got to sit out of this. I mean, it's a fair size move up, so this could be part of the chop before it eventually. I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if it moves up. The bigger this channel, the more this pissing round it does. Small channel, small break, new high. Big channel, bigger break. I mean, this is only the break so far, so it may be one leg down, a second attempt to test this, and then eventually up it goes. Does it all the time. YHS&P been giving signs of some sort of bad event to happen soon enough. Oh, don't spook us out, mate. I started watching that series. Mind you, I think it's about 5 years old. Evil. Has anybody seen it? Me and my wife have been watching it for the last week. We've just finished season one. It's really good, actually. I think it came out about 5 years ago. Well, I only think they stopped it a year or so ago. And my wife wouldn't come down for something last night. I had to go downstairs for it. It spooked herself out. Mm. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if this finds the top up here. Not in the slightest. It's not really reversing. Overnight, all the way up until the open, it's been going up. As soon as we opened, it started chopping. It's not going down. It'll find its way up. Uh, but it needs a good strong area to enter. Now, we've had a couple of attempts to push lower, so it may push up from here. Who knows? All right, I was waiting for the lower high. Yeah, we didn't get one. Traded in the valley in Hastings today. Ah. See, there is a second entry short which is pushed down now. It's turning. Trouble is, you just can't get in here really. It's right in the middle of this chop. It may well be pushing up and stopping this out, but there's going to be a lot of stops here. But you want something a little bit stronger than that, to be honest with you, because there are sellers at 5 right above there, so you don't know whether you're going to push up and it's going to come down again. There's nothing you can do really. Hastings. That's South London way, isn't it? Southeast London way. I'm sure you're on the coast, aren't you? That's on the coast, isn't it, Hastings? Is it Kent way? I think off the top of my head. Yeah, it's nothing you can do here. I mean, this is about as choppy. We've had quite a bit of this. I mean, we had a chunk of it yesterday. It was going up slightly, but then all of a sudden the arse dropped out of it. And same here, chop, 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 broke above, and then the arse dropped out of it again. So it's doing a lot of that late. We're spending a lot of time in these choppy areas, and there's no kind of really neat pattern to it. It's just, there's uh look at the difference in volume from was that yesterday, from yesterday, the day before. You have to look up Hastings. Looking place. Sure, it's South London way, isn't it? Oh, someone's in Longyear. Can't see what bar it is. We've got a better bar here. Trouble is, we hit sellers here, so you don't know whether this thing's going to come down. And once it's like that, you just never quite know where it's going to go. See, I'd want a really strong bounce at a key entry point, like somewhere like that. Another good strong bounce, and then a strong higher low. Because when it's like this, it's quite weak. And you see that bar there, you've got kind of like a failure there, haven't you? You've got a higher low here. It's ticked above there, and then it's come bearish. So you just don't know. It's taken out any stops here. So you don't know. We may pull back again to the middle of this, which would stop that bar out there. And I've been in situations like this looking for a way in. Now, ordinarily with a channel like that, we'd be looking to make a new high. And in the past, I've just found bars like this is right in the middle of that chop. There's going to be liquidity there. It might hold, but there's going to be liquidity there, and it's quite likely going to be easy liquidity. Because there's not going to be a huge amount of traders there. More inexperienced traders may trade it with a bar like that because it's right in the middle of the chop. So it is easier just to pick off liquidity like this. And while these weak positions are in, market just chops up and down, taking them out. We had a second entry short here, triggered, came back up, stopped out. Higher low here, came back down. It's probably going to stop it out. They're all weak positions really, and it's just literally chopping up and down, just taking out cheap liquidity and easy stops for the market. But this is pure chop. There's no real pattern to it. It's just, you never know when it's 1 minute looks bullish, next minute it looks like it's coming down. So there's just nothing you could do here. My guess is this is probably going to have a quick flush down because there is going to be traders looking to buy here, thinking that price is going to test it. Unless any larger buyers come in and help push this thing up, it's likely going to come down and continue to chop around. So if we end up getting something like this, I'd like to see a quick flush down, which is a break from it, and then a push up. Same thing I was showing you a minute ago. This type of thing, it looks like it's going up. Quick push down and off it goes. Same here. Bit of a breakout first, but then a push down and then off it went. Same here, a bit of chop, off it went. So I'd like to see a little bit of a drop, pick off some of these, and then have a good shove up. Do you still take big picture trades? Big picture trades. Are you on about more like penguin style, slightly more blown out versions? I think that's what you mean. No, I don't really. I looked at penguin on and off for a while. It's very similar to Mac's system, very similar. So yeah, I ended up with, when I was trading his way a bit, I was just seeing more pats. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes you're best off just sticking to what you know. I spent over 4.5 years now learning pats. So there's no point in wasting that, really. I'm quite comfortable. There has been times where I thought maybe it's moving too quick for me and maybe it's too stressful for me. But as I've got better and you get used to it, you relax a bit more. I don't find it stressful at all. In fact, I find 3.5 hours just fly like that now, where I was constantly looking at my watch thinking, God, this is taking forever. So you get used to it. You get used to anything, I suppose, don't you? I'd like to see a break out of here, of this channel going up. There is kind of a channel. Trouble is, you've still got to be careful. You've got to trap shorts and get a really strong bull bar. Right, is this thing launching? It may do. If it gets above that, it's game over, I think. Gets above that, it'll get much. In fact, it has got above that, I think. Yeah, it'll have a push up now. I don't think anything will stop it now. So it did push up and make a new high. Well, I say it did. It will do, I think. But a lot of the times you get these breaks, but this particular break, because it's so choppy, it's just more dangerous getting in. Other times it'll get a couple of legs and it'll find its way up. Sometimes it does it quite neatly and sometimes it just confuses you on the way up. But we did have kind of a move there. So, in fact, Thomas Wayes just posted that. So he's kind of looking at that. But perhaps we had a bit of a chop, a couple of legs back, and this is the way up quite likely. Now, there is an overshoot. I wouldn't want to short here, so we could trigger that and push up. There's a lot of sellers above here, so my guess is it's going to push up and hit them sellers. But as there's an overshoot, we may get a correction or the thing could reverse. Who bloody knows? But between 10 and 12 and a half, there's a lot of sellers. So 12 and a half and 10. There's a lot of sellers in this area. So, mind you, some of them are starting to disappear, but it's pretty messy, isn't it? Just looking at this chart here, I can't even see any form of a channel down really that fits. Maybe something like that. Touch, 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 with a couple of legs up and a push down. Maybe that may actually not be too bad. In which case, if we get a second entry short here, we may get something down. We need a second entry short though. What kind of price action is this? That's a good question. And that's what we're all sitting trying to figure out. Certainly not. It's certainly confusing price action. That's for certain. Now, is this what's happening here? Now, that's not going to reverse down at that rate of knots. I'd like to see a little break and then down if this thing's coming down. I mean, it's had a good attempt to make a high. It may continue up and try again, but the strongest orders I can see on Bookmap are above price, around about the 10 and just over in this area, which is right at the top. So it may have another go. Nice thing with Pat's, no trades, no losses. That's it. That's the only guarantee you've got in trading. If you don't take a trade, you're guaranteed not to lose a penny. So is this pushing down? I was hoping for a second entry short here. So I've got this like this. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. Touch, close enough, touch, touch. But we've got such a neat channel there. I expect a break, and we didn't get down the bottom. So we've had a break, strong push below the EMA, pull back, bearish bar, and this does look like it's working down. Unfortunately, it's only a first entry, so there's nothing I can do there. What do I go for? 10 ticks. So I think that would have probably worked anyway, depending on where you got into it. It's got to get down to there, actually. So I'm guessing it's going to work. I can't see anything else. This is interesting. Have I just seen the market drop here? So maybe that's a correction of some sort. Still sellers up here. Well, so far, this was the open here, and this is what we've had. So it's not great. Excuse me a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom. So, overshoot may be a correction. Thomas Wade said he consider a higher low. Higher low would be here, right in the middle of this, so I'm not sure I would. Yeah, I've still got sellers up here, but that can all change, can't it? It has made multiple attempts to push up. Me. 46. I'm down 190. I took a trade on my one account. I got in bloody late as well. I got to stop doing that, trading one on its own. I just didn't want to trade it all, but I like the setup. 2 legs up. I got it down here way too late, but I like it shot up, stopped me out, took me out for a couple of extra ticks and ended up doing that. That's kind of what I was hoping it was going to do there, but I'm stopping trading one account on its own. I don't have much success with it. I usually wait for the open. I like things moving a little quicker, but I saw that before the open and decided to take it. I just like the fact that the legs were broad. Uh, I always, the trouble is, the odd time I do that, I always end up taking something a little bit more risky. I thought I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to trade 20 contracts. So it's just one of them things, isn't it? So we've got a correction, a push above the higher low, a second entry long off here. I don't think would be too bad. I don't think we're going to get one. Trap the lower high there and then push up. Hopefully we have a strong push up. There's just nothing there. There is a higher low on this one, but that's too far for the EMA. If I'm going to take a trade in this middle stuff, it's going to have to be that bloody good. Is this the final push? So channel overshoot correction, 2 legs up. Let's see if we can finally get above there. Here we go, I think. There we go. That's above the one bit. The rest should come a bit easier now. And it's definitely going up. There's orders here. Orders here. Orders at 15. Let's wait and see this bearish bar trigger. Mind you, there is 2 legs down, 2 legs up, so it could potentially pull back a bit. And in my trades, I never took a trade yesterday, but I don't think. No, I never took a trade yesterday. Took a trade on Monday. On the CL, got 2,000 on Monday on the CL. Thing is, that 2,000, if I can get one more trade over the next couple of days, it's $5,000 for the week. So still even a couple of trades, you know, when you've got 20 accounts, you can still a significant amount of money. Quite a lot of aggressive buyers in here. So this is going to push up, stop these out and start hitting some sell orders above price. When it hits that stop there, I think it'll push straight through this. There we go. So a new high buy tick. So now what's going to, it's really struggled to get up. No, I took one trade on one account on the CL chart earlier. And I lost it. There's that one there. I like the 2 legs up. I took that, but I got in really late down here. But my guess is it was going to do this and come down, which it did, not before it came back up and stopped out and then dropped like a bloody stone. But well, it is what it is. I knew it was a slightly riskier trade, but I'm stopping doing it. I don't enjoy those trades when I trade one on its own because it's usually a little bit more risky than normal. Okay, so we'll hit some sellers up here in 15. So let's see what, it's not had as strong as push as I thought it might do. Man, the time it took to get above there, I thought it was going to have a 3, 4, 5 point shoot up. It didn't. Yeah, this is looking awful, this chart. It's clearly slowly coming down, but it's not really giving us any kind of a pattern that I can see. I mean, that doesn't look too bad at the bottom, but we've only touched it once. So could be one leg down and a side. I don't like any of this, to be honest with you. Now, when I first tried the CL, maybe a year or so ago, Marco messaged me and he said him and Vladdy had been trading the CL because we were going through a dry spell. And he said it's great. And I looked at it and I thought, wow, I could see about 3 setups on it. And I spoke to Vladdy on the phone a few weeks ago, and he said he takes 1 trade a day, 70% of them are from the CL. But I mean, I took one on it on Monday, but it's just as bad as this. It does make you wonder why. The one thing I like about the CL chart is the ATR is very stable on it. Whereas this, it can change quickly. We could have an ATR of 4 or 5 or 1.7. It can change, but it's quite stable on the CL. So what the hell is going on here? Okay. Is there possibly something larger? There may be. We've had a mess around down here. We've had a bounce down here. And now maybe this is... Who knows? God, I couldn't half murder a whiskey. I haven't gone in the house at the moment. Yeah, 10 ticks. I just took Marco and Vlad's advice. They go for 10 ticks. Risk is usually about 12 ticks. The last couple of trades has been a 12 tick risk, 10 tick. And that makes you $100 per account. So it's a relatively small risk. It's quite stable, that. If I find I get some success on it, I don't know whether to go up to maybe 2 contracts on that one. And the average risk will be 240, 250, but I may do that later on down the line if I get, when I get my accounts kind of 5,000 or whatever up, a little bit more up. My plan is to get the accounts up to about 7,500. What I'm probably going to do is take 500 when it gets to 3.5, just to get some money coming in, and then take them up to 7.5. So one contract, $150 on average risk. That's less than 2%. So 7.5, 750, 75 is 1%. $150 is 2%. My average risk is $150. So you'd be talking 2 to 2.5% risk with accounts at 7,500 each. And that's quite low, especially for prop firms. But the good thing about that, nice low risk, decent amount of money in there. I don't have to worry about losing a trade that's going to lose in 2.5%. You're going to have to lose a hell of a lot of trades to get you into trouble. And as long as I trade nice and steadily, even if I'm up, I don't know, 4 trades over a month, that's still $10,000 over 20 accounts. So even a really quiet month, a crap month, you'll still get a nice living. In a good month, that can be boosted significantly. So that's the plan. Something I've never done. I've always got to 2.5, 3,000, started taking lump sums, and it just, you're constantly on your seat because you're taking kind of larger risks. You need 2,300 to get to my threshold building profit for a withdrawal. Yeah, I think initially when you first start getting payouts, you don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the accounts. I just wanted the money. I just wanted to show that I, prove to myself. But if I'm honest, I'd say a fair majority of those earlier payments I get, I was lucky. There was days where I took, you guys know I went through all that stuff where I took risks and stuff like that. But when I took that, bear with me just a second. There's a possible second entry long here. I would wait for the higher low because we've made a new high. I can't see that this is a channel down and this is trapping longs for a failure. But as we've made a new low by a tick, I'd rather wait for a higher low here. Do look for a beginner threshold before we draw. See, Apex used to, when you got to $2,600, you used to be able to take 2,000 out. But that only left you with about $500 a drawdown, and in 9 times out of 10 you blow the account. And then they changed it, so you get to $2,600, the most you can take out is $500, which still left you $2,000 worth of drawdown, which is still a good amount to protect. So they did that, I'm assuming, so people couldn't take much money. But what they did effectively is they made life so much better for us, because it's, whether they did it on purpose or not, I don't know, but it does start to install good habits, and you start to value your accounts a little bit more. But those first bunch of payments, you don't give a shit. I didn't care about the accounts, whether I lost them. All I wanted was the money. And it's perfectly natural, that is, to get to payment and take it all. And, I remember the first payment I took was about 2.5 years ago, maybe a little less. And I thought I'd cracked it. Little did I know I had another 3 years of hard work out of me. And some days if I got no trade, I'd take a risk. I'd try and get a bit lucky. And I think most of us can say, did we all trade, trade those accounts properly right the way up? I think most of us didn't. But when I got the 18,000 November, I traded those accounts perfectly. I just played the game, and it took 2.5 months, but I managed to take 18,000 out of a mixture of 10 accounts, 5 Apex, 5 Traderify, and that kind of proved to myself that I can just play the game properly. Yes, it may take a bit longer, but you're not taking stupid risks and you're not risking blowing it. So we all know the right way to trade, but having that stable mindset to be able to follow the rules, not just follow the rules, not take any stupid risks, is near damn impossible. But you do get to a stage where it does become easier. But it took me bloody way longer than I thought it ever would. So this thing is dropping quite strong. Now, it ain't going to continue down. I'm guessing it's going to find some. But if we get a couple of legs up, this may start to. Or it could be just like a move down and a second move down before it moves up. Who knows? Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe that's a bit better. Did I have that initially? I can't remember now. Yeah, I did. A couple of legs back and then a couple of legs up. I suppose a lower high wouldn't have been a terrible trade, but we just didn't like it. Look better here, but it's a little bit choppy, so you just don't know, do you? I decided that I'm not going to take payouts until I'm at least over 5 or 10k. So just don't want to stress. Yeah, it's a good idea. When you stop worrying about trying to take money and you just focus on the trade. Now, obviously, it's not that easy for everyone. You know, if you've got an income, it's not so bad. But I've got to make an income off of trading. So although it doesn't stress me trading anymore, it used to, but it doesn't anymore. So I think it's just I've been doing it long enough now and full time enough now for it yeah. I think when you start to believe that you can do this, the day-to-day worries about trying to take a trade here or there tends to disappear. I am confident in my own enough skill to be able to grow an account and to be able to make money. So when you get to that level, you do relax a bit more. And there's no point in stressing. If I don't get a trade, I don't get a trade. Not bothered about it. As long as I've sat here patiently and not done anything stupid, and I haven't seen you can't force trades. You start forcing trades, the chance of you losing just dramatically goes up. You can only sit here patiently and wait for a setup. And if you see one, take advantage of it. And that's all you can do. And when you start doing that, your accounts will start to grow. But obviously, you need to have got past that panicking stage where you do stupid things. And it's only really, I had a bit of a hiccup in June where I blew some accounts. I made my stop. That's the last time I did something stupid. Well, that's not strictly true. For a couple of months after, because of the frustration, I bought a few, blew a few. But after that, how much do you pay in fees for 20 accounts? So I paid what they call it's a lifetime license, so it cost me $65. Now these 20 accounts, I don't pay a single penny for now. They're my accounts as long as they're intact. There's a triple test there. Now, channel break, new low. I would want to wait for a higher low here because I'm guessing it's going long off here, and it may not be. And it's 20 ticks. So, we got a channel with a break, one push down. We may get a second push down. So, and not only that, you can see there are quite strong buyers below price around about 93.5. 93.5 is there. So there are buyers right below that big bull bar. So that would tell me there's a good chance this is going to come down. you can see there's 360 contracts there. So would I really want to go long there? Can you see above? There's not much above. Most of the orders are down where that red line is. So that would keep me out of a trade like that. Now, fortunately, it never triggered anyway, but it doesn't mean if aggressive buyers like this, they won't ride it up. So no, once you've got your 20 accounts with your lifetime fees, you don't pay anything. And then when I get my accounts up to $2,600 each, I can start taking money. So there could be a possible higher low here, but can you see them 300 odd orders down here? There's very little above. So unless we get aggressive buyers, it's going to come down below that green bar. Now, fortunately, it didn't trigger. So I think the damage was minimal. So there's a higher low there. I'm not taking it. I think that's a trap because there are sellers below. But if buyers like that, it may go up. And it could potentially come up to the EMA before it comes down. But I can see buyers there. So that to me is a trap. And I wouldn't necessarily know that if I didn't have Bookmap and I could see those orders down here. So some traders will see that big bull bar and just buy. How we trade at Pat's, we wait for it to trigger, and it didn't. So you may have stayed out of that one, but that one to me is just, it's a trap, especially with 370 orders right below here. So that's likely to come down for me. You know, you never know. If enough aggressive buyers like it, they may just decide to buy, but there we go. So it stopped out that. And if you bought somewhere at the top, you got stung there. And how did I know that? Because I could see big orders below there. So it can keep you out of trades. I wouldn't be surprised if traders are thinking bounce, bounce, bounce. There's a triple test there. Okay, it never triggered, but the higher low did. So that might have been confirmation for them to go long. And what happened? It triggered them and stopped them out. So this is invaluable at times. So Thomas Wade said he needs a higher low. Now, if he'd have been looking at this chart, that may have been the trade he took. But I don't think Thomas trades with a second chart. So there wasn't a higher low on here. Someone's put good higher low on the second chart. I have trust issues with this chart. So I think who that was had trust issues, decided to leave that, I'm thinking. And it's a good job he did because he'd have got stopped out. So what I'm seeing here, I think there's two scenarios here. There's one leg down and a second leg down, and that may push up, or we may have two legs up here like this, and there may end up being a second channel. Sorry, a downtrend coming down. So we'll have to see there. Right, this is flickering around a bit now. Channel, break. She pushes to a new low. We've got 2 legs down here. Is this going to push up from here? Who knows? There are sellers at 7,000, which is one tick, a couple of ticks above here. So see, if I got into a long here, I'd just be guessing this is doing this. So possible second entry short. Just don't like it. It may come down. Is there a possibility that a channel fits? Maybe. Something about it I don't like though. Looks like I missed a whole bunch of nothing. Yeah, you certainly did, mate. Woof. So I'm guessing there was a bunch of I'm guessing. Oh, you're kidding me. Fell second. Oh, okay. I'm guessing there was a bunch of stops above here. Wow, that just flipping rocketed through there. Trouble is, if you got your stop here, that pushes through that quick. I don't know how many times I've had a big chunk of slippage there and lost an extra 3 or 4 ticks. So if you look on this second chart, there'd have been stops there, I don't doubt. That thing just launched through it, didn't it? Up about 6 points, 6.5 points in one bash. Okay, so is this thing now going up? My guess is it could be. So we've had 2 pushes down, so let's just move that to there. We've had two moves down. This does look like it's going up. Trouble is, it's going up too steep for me to follow that. I'd expect a couple of legs back and then a wider channel. Some sellers there, which you'd expect close to the top. There are some at 15 as well. I'm looking for some buyers somewhere around about here. There are some. It's a bit low actually. Not about there. It's a bit low, I think. It's going black now. We're at 4 o'clock here, so I wonder if there's some low impact news. No, there isn't. Yeah, just mainly the levels really. All I want to know is where buyers and passive buyers and sellers really. I use that. I like to see the difference, the imbalance there between buyers and sellers, but a lot of this stuff I don't really pay much attention to. So yeah, just levels really. All I want to know is where buyers and sellers are, so I can make kind of better informed decisions. So let's hit some sellers, and there are some at 15 as well, 190 contracts. Well, there's some just above and below. Two, four, five, six. There's about 600 contracts within a couple of ticks of that red line there. So my guess is it'll get up here. Whether it has a break first or not, who knows? Yes, bud. That there 500 tick chart on here. This has been not brilliant lately, to be fair. I took that one earlier, but I got him way too late. But I thought if I put my stop up there with two legs up, it should be okay. And it shot up, took me stop up, and then ended up dropping out. There we go. So, is this going to find its way up, or is this just ranging? Uh, so we've had two clear attempts to come down, and this is pushed up strong. So, my guess is it will find a way up. Uh, why is my live only 1080p? The reason is so I can have it on ultra low latency. It doesn't support 2 or 4K resolution. If I go down to low latency, I can do it on 4K, but it's got about an 8 or 10-second delay, maybe a little bit more. So that's why I just go for 1080 so I can get that quick real time. I mean, any videos and that, yeah, that's fine. You can record it in 4K, but for live streaming, as it needs to be, kind of in sync with you or as close as possible. That's why I choose the only 1080. I did try it a week or two ago. It was a little bit crisper, but people were saying 8, 10, 12-second delay. Okay. So small break, new high. As we've had bounces here, my guess is this is going to go up. I'd like to see a short trap. There's quite a few orders around there. There's 2, 4, 5. There's about 600 contracts for sale. A tick or two in and around this area. So for me, my guess is so a couple of legs down. Quite likely going to be a larger channel up somewhere along those lines. So I'm going to put my neck out here and draw that. That's what I think may happen. Partly because we've had 2 bounces right here. You may say potentially 3, but we had quite a few here. And if you look on Bookmap, the orders are north of price. So my guess is they're going to find their way up. So I'd like to trap some shorts here. There is a second entry long here, but this is too far for the EMA for me. Regardless of where I think it's going, it's just too risky, that is. Okay, second entry long failure. I'm still not ready to go short because I think price is going to go up purely because I can see orders up here. So let's see if there's a double trap here. Let's see if the failure gets trapped. The only way I get in here is if it breaks below that bull bar and triggers the bear bar. Okay. Have we done that? Triggered the bear bar, but not stopped out that bull bar. Okay, channel break, new low. Let's see if we get a strong move up now. Stops there, stops there. How much room's to the highs? Not enough. No, I think it'll go higher, but there's not enough room for the high. There's a lot of sellers up here. Literally so far, I mean, market opened here, and all we've done is chop up and down for the last hour and 45 minutes. Mad, isn't it? It's a bit of a weird spot in my opinion. I'm looking at it based on what I can see orders up here. It would have to be one hell of a good setup to get me into it, to be honest with you. And I'm looking for a real trap, which we're just not getting, I don't think. Uh, I mean, if I got a beautiful strong bar and I knew I was going to hit stops here and here, and I had enough space, uh, I'd have a go at it. But it would have to look really good. And at the moment, it's just not super clear. I mean, it's quite. There's some doges. It's congested. Uh, you do. Your favourite? Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Take it easy, mate. No, I'd look for this to take off. So channel break, new high. There is a little bull bar there. It's not a huge risk. I would, channel break, new low. I mean, you could bring this out there, really. What does that look like? Not bad. Maybe there's something like that. I mean, if it pushes up, then yeah, I'd say that's kind of valid. But it is a bit, I mean, this is more of a gut feeling because I've seen we've made 2 attempts to push down after such a big move up. We're not getting there. So my guess is once it's tried that, it's likely going to turn the other way. It was only a small risk. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world. Looks like it's working. When it pushes up on this chart, it's going to start to hit some stops here. So it's kind of doing what I expected it, because you're going to get shorts in here, aren't you? But we've made 2 clear attempts. So for me, so it did work. Well, about anyway. Once it gets above here, it'll have a little bit of a push, I think. So I tick above here, so it would have to push up another tick for me. But I think it will. There's bound to be shorts here, bound to be some stops, and there'll be some there. So if it pushes up a tick or 2 more, it'll go. I'm confident it will. So, in fact, if I got in there, would I be out yet? No, not yet. We'd have to get to there. Okay, so it would have worked anyway. It was a small risk, 2 legs back. So that just tells me I'm reading the markets right, and it is pushing up towards those sellers up here. So I was looking for something there. I'd have preferred it to push down just a little bit more because there's likely going to be some liquidity there. But you may argue we've had 1, 2, I don't know, but I would have preferred it to go down just a little bit more to clear any liquidity there. Stop. I mean, that one didn't trigger, but it may have done on another chart. If it did that, then my guess is it would have pushed up. But unless you really know what you're doing, it's always risky going into the longs. But the fact that we've clearly made multiple attempts to go down, and it's not having any of it. So we've had a big push up and a bunch of attempts to go down. Usually when it can't get down, it goes in the opposite direction. When you're trading on a sim, yeah, it's always the way, isn't it? What I will say is when you've seen enough of these and you know then where it usually goes, you start thinking, okay, well, we're chopping down here and we bounce. We make another attempt. We have 2 legs up to the top. We come down again and we make multiple attempts to get down. And then we move up quite strong and get to the top. So I'd be looking to trap a few shorts here, which we did, not many. There was more shorts trapped on here with that kind of lower high, and then eventually, but we're not up and out yet. But I think we will. So 2 legs up, bearish bar. If we can get above that bearish bar, then it'll be a bit easier then, to be honest with you. But you never know. We may make 2 attempts to go down as we're up here, and then off it launches. But there's never any guarantees, which is why I didn't trade it. It just wasn't good and clear enough for me. If it broke below there, and then I saw some rejection, and it pushed up, then I may have had a go at it. So we're going to be hitting some buyers here now. So there are some buyers just under 9, which is around about the 875. So there are some buyers there, and there are sellers. You see those sellers, 1375 and up. So 1375. So above there are buyers here and sellers up here. That tells me it's going to push up to the sellers. It may pull back temporarily for the buyers, but by far the strongest orders are above. So you can see at 13.75, you can see him at 15, which is there, and you can see him up here at 20. So they're by far the strongest orders that you can see there. There are some buyers right here about now. Those ones from there have been moved. So there are some buyers. 10, 7, 10 right there. So that might have a small pullback, but then for me, it's going to aim to this area here. Once we get above that stop, it'll be a bit easy. We've had a couple of attempts, but if it ticks above that stop, it'll become much easier to get up. So as we had a break, 2 legs up to a new high, there's bound to be traders trying to pick tops here, which is why it's maybe finding it a little tricky to get through. Two ticks and we're above here. It'll have a little spike then, I think. One tick. Go on, get up. There we go. Okay, so that's got above that stop now. So my guess is it'll push higher. Okay, 13.75. They are there, but they're not very strong, but that's much stronger. Now, we may get a little bear bar here, trap some more shorts, but my guess is it's still going to push up. It was on a break, unfortunately. It looked a very good trade. Okay, so it's hitting these sellers now. So these sellers, I think, will get absorbed because there's more and more up here. So it did clearly work that. I'd have preferred it to push below liquidity there. I always like to take out previous liquidity because a lot of times that's how price works. So we got a little micro channel with a break and a new low, but unfortunately another tick and then a nice big wick and a bull. I'll have had a go at that. Plenty of space to the tops. That candle off the EMA is looking better. Yeah, the thing is, if you see this come up for another leg up here, you'll look at that and think, Mac might mark that. But before you know where price is going, it's very hard to trade these things. You're just relying on experience. And my experience tells me we've clearly had a few attempts to go lower. And this to me looks like it's pushing up. And when I see sellers above price and not many below, it's a natural progression, isn't it? Which might make that an okay trade. But if it had pushed a bit lower and had more of a stem, then I would have had a go. But it was only 7 ticks, so it wasn't a massive risk. If you got it on the nail and put your stop 1 tick below the signal bar, you'd have been risking only a couple of points, which is quite bloody rare in the way prices have been lately. Not often you can get a 2-point risk unless you take a limit order and get a little bit better. My turn is set no long. It's in congestion. Yes and no. See, the congestion is there. Yeah. And what's this? It's a breakout. So we know that most breakouts fail. So this is a channel with a break and a new low. So this channel's played out. And this was a failure. So you expect it to push up. And it's failing. I drew that channel there. Do you remember? I didn't know exactly where it was going to be, but just trying to get it running in line with there, that's where I expected it to get back to and turn out. So once you put these few bits of the puzzles together, sellers up here, 3 bounces, second entry long, channel break, new low, congestion, fail breakout. Once you start putting the bits of the puzzles, you can make much better decisions. So it'd be interesting to see if Mac marks that. He may do, he may not. He was looking for it to break. Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to break below there. For me, there's going to be, we had a little pullback there, didn't we? A little bit of liquidity. So there'd have been buyers there aiming to stop that out. So it didn't quite. Now that bar never triggered, but there may have still been buyers who decide to buy there and their stop may go there. So if this dropped a little bit more and then turned up, that would have, I'd have been more interested in getting in then. So now if this is ranging, this is a breakout. This may fail, but I think if it does, it'll be temporarily. Got the trap tension. Yeah. See on here, it looked better because you see how we've got the lower high there, and then we've got two dojis. Now straight away, if I was taking a short there, that would be a red flag for me. I'd want to be getting out that trade, and rightly so, because it turned up and stopped it out. So I think you just get better and better at reading the charts over time. What's you pestered the hell at me? I think you get better at reading the charts over time, and you can make better trades, neater trades. You know what I mean? Where someone a little bit less experienced might not be thinking about all the pieces of the puzzle. But I think every year you come and you trade and you get better. You notice these things. Like I noticed what was going on. I never took it, but it did what I expected. So the more you see these, with the extra added help of looking at Bookmap, you can have with pretty reasonable accuracy where price is going. And if you can get a decent setup, then sometimes it's worth the risk. If you think it's going to go up there, it's such a small bar, maybe worth you taking it, maybe going for a little more points. If you just go up to the tops, or wherever, just maybe get above the tops. Being 7 ticks, if you got in on the nail there, which you could have done, tick below signal bar, risking 2 points, you could have got 4. So risking 1 to make 2. So, but we'll see what happens here. It's not an exact science, but you can make pretty good informed decisions. As the experience kind of grows. Now, so we've had a channel here. Maybe that's a channel. It's working okay. Now, you'd expect a possible it to fail temporarily, and then possibly continue up. So maybe, we end up having something like that. That doesn't look too bad, does it? So there's always a possibility. So second entry long, something to get in. I don't want to just go for that one and just assume it. I think it's going up. Even though I assume something's happening, you still got to have a setup for it because it may not work. So maybe there's something like that. I don't know. But we got a channel down there without a break, so who knows? So a little micro. In fact, we've already had a break and a new low there in one go on this side. Now let's see if we can get see if we can maybe trap some shorts here. Then we're going to. So I can still see orders at 15. It's 400 odd contracts at 15. That's a fair chunk. And there's 255 at 16. And there's 150 at 13 and 3/4. Which is there. So a second entry long here might not be. I'm not sure at the moment. I thought we may be getting something like this. Maybe we will. We can get a higher low here. See, there are some orders. Not a huge amount. There are some orders at 7.5. Now, I'm guessing traders are thinking if it comes back here, I might have a go at that. Hmm. I don't think it's going to come back, is it? God, this is bloody horrible, this chart. No idea where this thing's flipping going. Channel break, new low, channel break, new high, channel break. Nothing as yet. So I'd like a little pullback here somewhere. There are buyers here. Maybe this is 2 legs and then maybe... Okay, so maybe a bounce, 2 legs down, pick out some buyers here, triple test. Maybe this goes up from there. So maybe a correction followed by a new high, because we haven't had a new high. We haven't had a break of this channel yet. So 2 legs back. Pick up some buyers here. Maybe 1, 2, 3 triple test, or 1, 2, 3 triple test. And then up we go. Who knows? We've cleared any previous liquidity here anyway, so it's not going to be difficult to get through if that's the case. So liquidity there for sure. You can see there are some buyers here about 7.5. Still going to have to push up strong though. This is failing, but I think it's only failing temporarily. That is tempting. Is it low enough though? I'm going to have to sit this one out. I think I prefer it to come down a little bit more. Those orders are at 7, which is there right on the dot here. So I'm going to leave this one just in case this comes down. It may hold, but the left chart's finished below the EMA. This has as well. It may not make a difference. There's 2 clear legs, but for me, a buy here is right in the middle of this, and I think that makes it more risky. So it's not worth the risk. I do believe it's going to go up, but it's in a bit of an area of congestion for me. It's just a little bit choppy, so it'd be a shame to get it wrong, for it to come down here, stop it out, and give us a nice bull bar here. So for that reason, I'm going to sit tight. You can see this slightly brighter blue area around the 707. If it gets down to here, breaks below here, clears out the liquidity, then it may give us a nice strong move there. So this could be a second entry long. There's a new high from this. We come down, clear liquidity, nice bull bar, 2 legs down, second entry long. I think that'd be okay. Now, there's going to be traders going short here. But for me, the orders I can see are up here. Unfortunately, it's just gone a bit too early for me. Is that going to push up now? There'd have been a lower high there. It's already going, isn't it? I can't see that coming back now. It's too close to the tops. That's a shame. Canceled. It's a shame that wasn't a little bit lower. It may just go. Fortunately, I need it to get down here. Trouble is it now starting to look like the start of a downtrend? I don't know, maybe. I don't think so. This is just 2 legs down. I'd much prefer it. Trouble is, if you get in here, it may flush down, clear liquidity, and then off it shoots in that direction. So you've just got to be a bit careful, which is it's always a way, isn't it? You always miss it by a little bit. Ben, how you doing, buddy? No, it's not been the easiest of days. I'm starting to repeat myself here every day. That's all I seem to be saying. It's been a tricky day. It's actually been a tricky month. I think that's fair to say. I know Vladdy never took anything yesterday. There was one trade I considered, which worked really well in the end. But the trouble is, it was that triple test there. Trouble is, we'd had a channel down with a break. We'd made multiple attempts to go lower, so you just never know whether it's going to trigger you and shoot off in that direction. So, and the more you get this chop, the more, I was chatting to someone a minute ago, the more you have trust issues. You find it hard. If someone's trying to cheat you constantly, it's very hard to trust them. So that's kind of how it goes. And I think when you get a trade or two again under your belt and things start to move a bit, you will probably relax and move into it. So that is a second entry long that bar. There's the first entry. When it broke above there, second entry. But it's an engulfing bar and it's got a bit of a stem, which makes it much more unreliable. The issue I have is liquidity. There's some there. There's some there. So I would much prefer to see it come down. The trouble is, the more it goes up and comes down, the more it's starting to look like a downtrend. And what I don't want to do is for it to make multiple attempts to go up and long traders just decide to bin it and the thing starts to tumble. So it just, the more it does this, the more the kind of less chance I've got of getting the trade I'm looking at. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? And you do, but you can see the orders there, 15 and 16. there's what? There's 450 contracts there. There was a bit more. And there's 220 contracts further up. There's not as much below. So usually when you've got orders below and not much, sorry, orders above, not much below, price slowly creeps up towards the orders. Obviously, if you've got a market stall and you see someone over there waving money, you're going to walk over to him. And especially if he's waving more money than anybody else, he's the customer you want. So that's kind of how this works. It does act as like a magnet. And it may just push up from there. There was a lower high there, which was trapped, and that pushed up. But we had a stem. Now we're above up there. My guess is it's gonna work up. There was orders down here. As I mentioned, they weren't a huge amount. It was that kind of light bluish colour. But I think when we trapped that lower high, so we had a bull bar, then a higher low, trapping the lower high. For me, it's probably got enough legs in to push up. But is that a strong bar? Not necessarily. It would have been better down here, which is why it might be finding it a little bit. So it may decide to change things now. Who knows? If you notice, there's some sellers in now at 713, which is before the top. So there may be sellers thinking, okay, this isn't going anywhere. Maybe selling here is now the way to go because it's clearly struggling. So I don't know. See, that there would be a fairly 2 legs back. There's a big bear bar there. There's going to be a hell of a lot of bulls here, isn't there? So yeah. Sometimes when you think it's struggling to get up, it ends up rocketing something. Sometimes when it's struggling to get up, it ends up absolutely dumping. So it's one of them things, isn't it? Someone's saying may get a fail second entry short. So I think others are thinking it's going up. But we need a bear bar here to trap. Which I don't think we're getting, are we? So 2 legs back, that little bull bar did work. It came back and almost stung it, but let's have a look. It would have worked just. So 2 legs back. Sometimes if the context is okay, and the bar's not too bad, sometimes it will slowly, sometimes it'll hold. But I thought for a minute it was going to come back, but I wouldn't be short in there. So when it triggered and started moving up, usually then that bar's safe. Mm. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Well, this is figuring out what the hell it wants to do. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'll be right. Okay, is this enough now? Is this going to come tumbling down? I wouldn't be shocked, in all fairness. So I've got nothing open. So 3 to 5 minutes, cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay. Okay, there is a possible failure there. Trouble is, there are some buyers here. Is this going to shoot up? I just don't want to flipping go up there. We're to the highs already, see, so I don't want to go long there. It's just too much. And if there is something like that, going high into there is just too risky. Now, there are some orders up here. When the market opened, look at some other trader screenshot and decided it wasn't worth coming back. Yeah, don't blame you, mate. Okay, so it's triggered, but is it going to pull up before it pushes back? I wouldn't want to go that far off here, mate. It's madness. That one, trouble is, you're supposed to be out before the highs. There's just no room. As tempting as it is, and as much as I think it'll work, it's against the rules. And, you know, Mac's rules has been following those rules for 20 years or however long. So it's just too risky. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. Now, I'm guessing we may end up doing something. No, it's going to be more like that, I think. Just seems a bit shallow to me. So going along right into the top, super risky. So there are buyers there, which is right at the bottom. So we've had a breakout which failed temporarily and then two legs up. So my guess is it's probably going to continue up. So let me move some of these out of the way. So there are buyers here, sellers at 20. So we pull down, buyers push it up and we go up. So a couple of legs down. Failure worked well, but didn't have value upstream plate. Yeah. Mm, See, I think if you were going to take that bar there, you'd have to take it on the engulfing. I don't know if there was. It's just too a bit high. I'd want that down here, really. I don't think that would have worked enough, would it? No, not for me. It wouldn't have done. It would have to get to there for me. And to me, it looked like there was a start of a channel. So going long here into the top section is just a bit risky, I think. So if I was scalping a point, I would probably take more trades. But you know, I've got to take 3 times the amount of trades to make the same as one. So, you know, a trade like that, you're probably going to get out at the top. So you're going to have a point there. It certainly went for a point. But I much prefer to wait for better trades and go for a little bit more. Because if you get a really good solid setup, they go for way more than 3 points. See this move up here with 2 legs down. If we'd have had a nice bull bar there with a higher low, I'd have jumped all over that, even in the middle, because it's readable. I mean, if it continues on like this, I may have a second chart of the 1500 tick chart or even 1000 tick chart. See if the 1000 tick chart clears stuff up, or breaks stuff up a little bit. It hasn't changed yet. Oh, it's loading. Still showing loading. It's taking its time. Something doesn't like something. So I'd like this to trigger above there and come down here. Doesn't like that 1,000 tick chart for some reason. Yeah, Thomas Wade said starting to look like a spiking channel. It certainly is. I don't think I could take this down any. Well, it depends. If the thing pushes up into the top, you bring this down, but I've got it just from there for now. Let's get rid of that. Clean up a bit. Trouble is, the more it struggles to go up, often the quicker it just drops. But we are above all previous liquidity, so it shouldn't be that hard. Sometimes when I see it struggling to get above previous liquidity, in other words, there's stops up here trying to protect their entries up here or something, then sometimes it drops. But this is clearly above everything. This broke previous highs, this broke previous highs, so on. I need a tick above this though, and then a drop down, which is not like we're going to get. I suppose that's why Mac invented hidden second entries. So little channel break, new low. Go on, have a little few ticks extra. Okay, now this could be a hidden second entry. See what happens here. Got to get down here though. Okay, so it has pushed up here, so that's interesting. So we have ticked above this, and we have here now. So let's have another little pull back here. There's the possibility that we could be doing that. So it's got some height there. Let's draw that on this chart, I think. It actually fits okay there, actually. Touch there, touch, touch, touch. Much better there. Still, you can't go long there. There's nothing there. It doesn't drop below there for starters. So that actually looks okay. So yeah, definitely. So we can still pull back here for a second leg. So maybe that looks a bit better. Uh, it hasn't quite bounced there, but I don't think that matters too much. It has on this chart. Got to come back here, leg and leg. Come back here, touch this, pick up some buyers and close here, and I'll jump all over that like a rash. Sellers up here, that's good. Buyers at 10, perfect. give us a couple of legs down, you bastard. Getting bored here. Well, Bart's had a rough day today. Not a good start back. Nice guy as well, Bart is. Considering order flow. It was your son, was it, that made those videos? I actually did put a comment on there. Did you notice or not? I did put a comment on there. Yeah, have a look if you haven't seen it. To be honest with you, I've looked at order flow on and off before, but I've never really understood what it's about. I kind of get the general idea, but I think any extra skill like that is worth paying attention to. Now, there are a couple of guys I've looked at before. I think there's a guy from, is he Dutch or something? I can't. He said, yeah, I did. Something is what he said. I just put very smart young man, something like that, much better than your dad. Something like that I put. It was the guy that I've watched before. Let me have a look. He did. Oh, did he? I know he put a little art on there. I'll have a look later. It was the guy I have watched in the past. He does a lot of stuff with order flow. I'm trying to find it now. I think any skill like that. But I kind of played around and avoided bookmap for a long time. I did a bit, looked at a bit, but I never really did it long enough for it to play a part. Now it's an important part of my day. So, I mean, you can obviously look at too many things at once, but I can't tell you how many videos I've seen that say when you learn to read order flow, it can be a massive game changer to your trading. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes you can look at too much, but I think a skill like that is never going to go wasted. Can't think of the guy. Is he Trader Dale? I think his name is. And he does a lot of stuff. I've looked at a few of his before. Trader Dale. Let's see if I can find him. It's one of those ones you've got to sit yourself in a room and focus, isn't it? Sure, it's Trader Dale. Carmine Rosata. Doesn't he sound like a mafia boss? Doesn't he? Carmine Rosata. He does sound like the type of guy that's going to whack you. Trader Dale. No idea if you really. No, I don't know. It's just more for because he's got videos on Rosata, something like that. Yeah, he does. He does sound like a mafia boss, doesn't he? Trader Dale. I can't find his. What's his name? No. I have watched him a few times, but he talks about it's more of not to watch the guy trade, but more to because he does videos on explaining more videos on explaining how to read. See, there's videos out there explaining what all this means, but it doesn't tell you how to necessarily use it. That comes with just playing Sato or something, isn't it? Yeah. I can't find the one guy now, but yeah, there are videos out there on bookmap on what it all means, but I was thinking, but how's it going to help me? But then just by watching it, I kind of figured out, see, I'm not expecting it to sell and come rushing down when it hits these levels. All I want to know, is it likely to get there? So if I'm thinking about taking a short here, I would think against it. If I was thinking about taking a long here, that would kind of give me that little bit. Well, we definitely got sellers up. So it's one of those things you never know till you try these things. But any skill you learn as a trader, I think is only going to help you, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't suggest to people, because I have a lot of people saying to me, I had a guy about, I think it was before Christmas. He said, I've done about 3 months now, every day on Pats, and I just can't get it to work. So I'm trying so and so, so and so. But when somebody's new, it's hard to tell them that you're going to have to put a fair few years in first. But he said, I've been doing it like 3 months non-stop. And he said, I just can't seem to get winning trades. And the trouble is, when you're seeing bars on a screen, and all you got to do is click a buy or sell button, you can understand why people think, well, how hard can it be? But it's tough. Ekedal, volume, profile, order flow. Yeah, see, order flow is the footprint chart, isn't it? Where you can see all the numbers within the bars. Volume profile, I'm not 100% sure what that is. Is that when you have kind of like a histogram showing you where the bigger areas are? It looks like a histogram, doesn't it, from the side? And I'm assuming that's what volume profile is. I've never really spent much time looking into that side of it. But I've got the lifetime license with NinjaTrader, and I believe I can get, in fact, I believe I can get, nothing I can do here. I believe I can get the footprint chart here, I think. I know you can get volume profile, I'm pretty sure. Volume. Yeah, there's volume profile there. I'm pretty sure I can get order flow as well. Yeah, order flow market depth map, order flow detector, order flow profile, order flow VWAP, order flow cumulative delta. I'm pretty sure I have access to quite a few bits and pieces with the lifetime license. You're 2 years in and can't get it to work. Yeah, 2 years is not very long in trading. It really isn't. And the bit that takes the time, you see where I'm looking at this and looking at this going up. Now, I'll tell you won't mind me saying that. I just had a quick flick through some of the trades that Bart took. He took, you see that bar there? That failure there, he took that failure. Now, he was looking for shorts there. I think he was looking for shorts here as well. For me, out of experience, with the fact that we've had a good, strong move up and clearly had a couple of good attempts, I'm looking for this to go higher. And the fact that I've got that added bonus of being able to look at book maps, so Bart got caught in that. And when I saw the trend, I just had a quick flick through. I was thinking, oh, I know this. I'm looking to go long. So that kind of experience, because when you get to the top of a channel, especially here, there's bound to be traders looking to go short with the failure. But for me, we've had a strong move up, we've made a new high, and this pushes down and pushes up, which tells me this thing isn't reversing, it's trying to go higher. So with the two bounces, the strong move up back to the highs again, and book maps show me there are orders up there. For me, this thing's likely to push higher. So, and experience really comes with getting stuck and taking trades. The more you get screwed, the more you learn. Bart really likes it. He does. He takes a lot of failed breakouts. I don't take many. If I saw a channel like this moving up with a little bit of then a failed breakout, then I would have a go at that. But a lot of the time he does trade. But the thing is with Bart, he's not frightened to have a go. But I think I've seen him lose 2 or 3 trades just now. And I was frustrated for him. I think he took, I can't remember what he did anyway, but I think he lost one here and that one as well. But it's frustrating when I see someone taking it and I'm thinking I was looking in the opposite direction. But, you know, the more you get chopped up in this type of stuff, the more you learn. There's nothing that comes close to experience. Just getting on here every day, the more you look at the charts, the more you understand where these little kind of, what's the word Dan uses, nuances, where you kind of, those little quirks that the market's gotten, looking where it's been and looking where it's struggled, all that at some point forms a bit of a picture in your head. You know, my thought process straight away that this was going to push higher. And I could see a lot of people were looking for lower highs and stuff like that here. But for me, I was looking. Now, a big chunk of that is not necessarily just this. It's bookmap as well. So my hunch was this was going higher because of the 2 moves down and the big move up. And having the orders up here, I could see other traders were thinking the same thing. That's what drew me to the conclusion that this was going up. That I stayed out of because I could be wrong. A higher low much better, but the higher low we got was up here and it was just too close to the highs. Having said that, it did eventually go on to work. But I don't want to take a high that close because I could be wrong. So it's about taking the information that you've learned and the picture that you've seen and make a kind of an informed decision. You know, sometimes these setups are absolutely obvious, really obvious, and those are the trades I try to take. But I do try and pay attention to this because as I see more of this and as I'm right in my mind without necessarily taking them, the more you'll get to the stage where you'll think, well, I can take this. I've seen it happen. I see it work 9 times out of 10, in which case you follow your experience. But 2 years, what do you say, 2 years? 2 years really isn't much at all. I've been training for 5 years now and I'm getting to this level where I can do it. So it really does take time. And that's why there's such a big failure rate, not because you're not capable, because it takes longer than people think. So the fact tells me that you've been here for 2 years. You'll be one of the ones that will stick this out. In a couple of years' time, you're going to be messaging me saying, I've had my, I've made 100,000 this year or whatever. If you stick at it and you keep learning, and you've got the desire to do it, then, you'll start to make money. I don't doubt it for a second. Now, is this now struggling to get up? It is a bit, because I can see sellers at 1375, which is there. So I can see a spike in channel. So for me, break new low, this is likely to push up, and I can still see orders at 20. So if there's sellers there are some traders thinking this is either failing or it's just not going anywhere and it's likely to come down. So it's being aware of, the messages you get, and you have all these little bits of information processing away in the back of your brain. And then hopefully with what you're seeing, something just comes to a conclusion that I like this, I'm going to go for it. See this one here, there is a bull bar there and possibly a higher low. I'm leaving this alone because to me, there's a bit of a channel there with a break. Now, whether that's a break and a new low or whether this thing's going to come down, I'm not so sure. What I will say is any short trade in an uptrend is straight away at risk. So in that case, maybe that one's at risk. It's a small break, but the channel's not huge. But there's something about this I don't like. I'd like to see this come down. There's going to be liquidity below there. And if you look left, more liquidity there. So I'd like to see a couple of legs down and then just wait to see if I think it's going up. I don't know how long Bart's been trading for, but I know he does some currency as well. Bart does, but he's a lovely bloke. I chat with him from time to time. I haven't spoken to him since before Christmas, but he'll send me a message and we'll have a little email once in a while. But he is a nice guy. But everyone goes through phases of having ups and downs, don't they? You get a little bit frustrated, and that can lead you to get a little bit too frustration with your mouse button. Yeah, I mean, you've just got to keep at it. I can't tell you how many times where I've lost a stack of money. I've blown 10, 15 evaluations in a night just to try and get a few accounts. And because I'm frustrated, I've got maybe 2 or 3 PA accounts, and I've decided to 4 or 5 contracts just to get a little bit of boost and blown them. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. So if you are, if you are doing or you've done some of that, it's perfectly natural just to panic and you do stupid things. That's kind of the way human beings are. But you will get fed up of doing it in the end and something will start to change. It's a horrible feeling. I didn't want to admit to myself or to other people that at one point I thought I'm addicted to gambling here. And I remember telling me why. She said, "But you're not a gambler. You've never been interested in gambling. So maybe it's just pure frustration and the want to just keep getting more and more. Perhaps it's a combination of both. Perhaps it's hard to avoid that risk taking, which is gambling in a sense, isn't it? Uh, but maybe when you get to real rock bottom or absolute frustration, something changes. Uh, it's weird how it affects your trading. It does feel like it takes over your life at times. But if you just continue at it and keep coming back, it's impossible not to get better. So if you are screwing up, don't beat yourself up. Learn to forgive yourself, and just learn how you're reacting to fear and panic is perfectly normal. If you went down the gym and started busting out a load of weights, you wouldn't be able to move your arms for a couple of days. So it's a reaction to something you're not used to. But the more you do it, the more you get used to it, it will have less of an effect. I absolutely assure you. I reached that point as well. Started to think maybe it's gambling. I don't think you can learn to trade without doing a bit of gambling because they're very similar. No, I took one trade on one account which I lost earlier, but no, on my bunch accounts I haven't. It's absolutely, yeah. It's a good attitude, mate. It's a good attitude. The amount of money you could earn at trading is significant, and any job like that where you can earn a lot of money is never going to be easy. You're going to have to put your time in. A doctor, a lawyer. Who was I talking to? I got a lawyer buddy, Nick. Did he say he was earning 2.5 million plus at the height of it? He said, but the amount of stress and time he had to put in. I know a few people who earn a lot more money that trading and work a fraction of the hours. But like any of those jobs, you're looking at 5 years. I mean, a doctor, I think, is a total of 7 years. 5 years of medical school till you're a junior doctor, and then 2 years in a hospital doing various jobs, and I think then you're a qualified doctor. 7 years. Do Apex give you live accounts? Do Apex give you? If you mean that when you get PAs, you start to get regular payments on PAs, they will move you to a live account. Yeah, correct. They will do. I haven't had it myself, but I believe you've got to have 6 payments in a row before they'll look into putting you on a PA. So that I know a few people who've had it. They've had an email saying, okay, now we've got options here. We can move you onto a live account, which means all your money gets bulked together, put into a live account. They take 10%, you get the rest. Or you can take all your money, but then you can't trade with Apex for 6 months. The reason they do that is because they don't want you taking all your money and then buying another 20 accounts and then getting a load of payments again without them kind of getting a bit of a cut. So let's have a look here. So is this failing now? It's struggling to get up, to be fair. So this could now be failing. It's hard to say. Don't think there could be any type of well, you never know. There's always a possibility there could be a two-tiered channel. It's working not too bad around the midline. So leg channel with a leg. Obviously, you can't take it here, but if it does continue up, then there may be a two-tiered channel, but who knows? Live account is just one account or same No, you just have one account. It's a proper live account where all your accounts just get bulked into one. So I don't know if you've got 5,000 in 20 accounts, they'll put 100,000 in to a live account. They take 10%, and you take the rest. The good thing is then you can trade however you want to trade. Then you've got no rules. Then you can trade obviously what you're allowed to do with the margin you're allowed. I think for the most cases it's I think it's $500 per account, so 5,000, 10 accounts, 10,000, 20 contracts. So there's plenty you can do. You can take payments out whenever you want. I've known a few people that have done that, but it's few and far between. There's not a huge amount because the majority of people that come into trading lose money, and obviously a small section of it, 5%, 3%. I don't know. I've heard multiple things that tend to go on to live accounts, but so many give up, which is a real shame. That it crossed my mind multiple times. It has. But usually when I'm frustrated or I've blown accounts, fortunately, a day or so later, I'm busting to go again. So I'm quite lucky in that sense. But I don't like to lose. I don't like something's kind of beats me. If it can be done, I'm one of those ones, that really pushes and pushes to do it. So you've got a leg up like this, effectively 2 legs back, and then a push up and out. So at the moment, it's hard to say really because the orders up here are starting to fade. There's more down here. Based on what I'm seeing at the moment, if it holds here, I think it'll continue up, but it may not. Better to have 20 accounts trading or 2. Is it better to have 20 accounts trading 1 or 2 contracts rather than 20 contracts? Yeah, you can't anyway, to be fair, mate. If you have a $50,000 account with Apex, the most you can trade until you become live is 5 contracts. The good thing about having 20 accounts is you can risk just 1 contract or even micros, some people do, but you're risking a smaller amount, but you're copying to another 19. So the chance of you earning much better money when you've got more accounts without having to risk, because if you trade 5 contracts and you lose 4 points, you've lost $800. Sorry, five. What's that? $250 per point? No, more than that. $1,000. Is that right? 2 points, 200. 2 contracts, 4 points lost is 400. Yeah, if you trade 5 contracts and you lose 4 points, you've lost $1,000. So you lose 2 trades and you're in trouble. So it's not worth it. You're risking about 40% of your account then. So don't get me wrong, I've done stupid stuff like that in the past. So the beauty about trading 20 contracts I've got, 20 accounts I've got now, I'm just trading 1 contract. My average loss is 150, 175. So I'd have to lose 17 trades in a row to blow those accounts, which is not really going to happen. You're not going to blow that many accounts. You're not going to blow that many trades in a row. Why people blow their accounts is they panic and they up to... I was watching a bit of Wilson's the other day. He lost 2 trades and then he went up to 2 contracts. So when you've lost 2 trades, you're a bit frustrated anyway. So going up to 2 contracts, fortunately it worked for him. But if he'd have lost that 3rd trade and he'd doubled the contracts, it's times like that that put you on tilt. So Wilson will sometimes, you'll see him a bunch of videos, and then he'll disappear for 2 months. So the best thing to do is just to stick at one, and my suggestion is just to stick at 1 contract. 1 winning trade for me is $3,000. You do that 3 times a month, that's $12,000. It's a large amount. No one likes to lose. It doesn't affect you as much when you've been doing a bit longer, but I still don't like to lose. It's just the way I am, which is why I have my guardian angel trader set to 1 loss, and I'm out for the day. That way I come back fresh tomorrow. I'm perfectly fine. So I read somewhere in a book that great traders, even great traders, have a limit where they'll go on tilt. They have a limit where they'll panic. They just put things into place to stop that happening. Where I know with brokers, if you've got your own account, and you can set a max day loss with your brokerage. So you can set things to protect yourself. And I know a lot of institutional traders, they can't just make decisions. Sometimes it's got to go through multiple sources. So everyone's got a limit where they crack and they panic. It's just realizing it, that's where your limit is, and putting things into place to stop that happening. And if you like me, you still don't take in losses, the best thing you can do is 1 loss and you're done. Okay, so we got 2 legs down here, nice strong bull bar off this. Now, would I take that? Not yet. I've got this, and it doesn't look too bad, but I'm guessing now it's going to continue up. There are orders above and below, slightly more orders below, so it's bounced at the right place, but I need a little bit more confirmation than that. So this is a bunch of accounts before Christmas. He had 40 plus accounts. Now he's got 23. Does a good job of trade. Yeah, see, when I first started streaming, I did the same as him. I moved my profit down here and followed it. And if you look where Wilson does it, I did it the same. He's moving his stop forward, moving it back, leaving it, moving it. I just found it was stressful as shit doing that. Sometimes you'll have a big move and it'll be and great. Other times it'll come towards you quick. I find that stressful. If you're going to trade like that, you're better off leaving it where it is, then moving it to the next swing, then moving it to the next swing. But trading the way he does, I feel stressed watching him. Sometimes I'll have a flick through his trays just to see what he does, but I find it stressful just looking at him. I much prefer to put my order in and then just, for the most, leave it. Sometimes if it's struggling, I may bring me stop to break even and just hover just in case it decides to turn. What Vladdy does, he goes for 2 points. When it hits 7 ticks, his stop automatically goes to break even. So he figures when you get that close, if it comes back, you don't want to get a tick away and end up losing the trade. But the way Wilson trades is the way I started when I first started streaming. It just stresses the shit out of you. I'm worn out by the end of the time. And it works for some people, but it's too much like hard work. And he takes a bunch of trades. He'll have a couple of bad days and then you disappear for a month. I'm guessing he's probably blown a load of them and he's disappeared and to get a bunch back. People don't like admitting they lose or they've lost accounts. I get it. But like me, when you trade live, you haven't really got a choice. Because people obviously can see what you're doing. That's not to say I haven't blown accounts off screen, but when you come back without any, you kind of can't hide it. See, when I first started seeing Wilson, not long after I'd started, he was trading, I think, 15 contracts, and there was a lot of talk about him. And in some days he was making, no, I think he was trading more. I think he was trading 20 or 30 contracts. Some days he was making $15,000 and I'm thinking, he seemed to be absolutely killing it. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I wish I could be as good as him. And then there was a few people saying, oh, they don't think he's trading real money, blah, blah, blah. And some guy said he is. He made $1 million last year. And then all of a sudden, a few months later, he started trading evaluations. and then moving on to PAs, and then people were saying, "I thought you were trading real money," and he said, "No, I never said I was trading." He didn't say he wasn't, but he said, "I never said I was trading real money." But people kind of got the impression he was. But when he moved on to PAs, he struggled like shit. So it just goes to show trading on trading on sim, you, you do so much better at it sometimes, and then as soon as you got that money playing a part, it fucks your brain up, for want of a better word. It really does. It really takes its toll on you, and then you've got to kind of go through that phase again of learning to continue trading, but with money at risk. I didn't realize how much it would affect you going from sim to real money, but man, it does. I know he peed a few people off. Wilson did one time. He put a video out saying something had gone wrong with the software and he'd blown all his accounts. It wasn't his fault or something, or he'd put an order in by accident. Uh, and I questioned him. I went, "What happened?" Because I wanted to know what was happening. He said something went wrong. I think it was Replicante, because I have it. And I went, "What went wrong, mate? I'm really concerned." And in the end, he went, "I didn't. I blew him. I just said that." But the trouble is, if you say stuff like that, people start panicking especially when they're using that same software. So I think he annoyed a few people by saying that. But you move on, don't you? It's hard to know what's going on here. I think he charges people to watch him, $50, $60 a month or something. Which, same again, if you're blowing accounts, I don't see how you can charge people. If you pay money, you want to know someone's bloody good at what they're doing. When you trade better in a sim and a real account, you're over leveraged. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had this. The trouble is with trading and prop firms is you see, people like Alpine. Now, he was playing the system a little bit, so he was getting away with a lot, but you hear traders of earning 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, and that gets in your head. And you try and rush. I'm talking based on experience. I don't know how many times I took stupid risks and went for way too much, just trying to, get to them big payments. But we've all heard the saying, it's not a get rich quick scheme. Can you get rich? Potentially, yeah. If you're willing to keep growing and, you're willing to give a fair few years. So potentially you can, but it doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's why people end up getting into trouble. They just take too big a risks and just try and grow too fast without that natural process of kind of growing and learning. You can't go from earning nothing to earning $20,000, $30,000 a month. Your brain just won't allow it. It's just too much. First time I ever traded 20 accounts, I only traded half of them, or I had 20 accounts. I traded half of them. It used to scare the shit out of me. So, just not sure here. There is a possibility that this is changed and this may be a downtrend with a break, in which case it may come down. Or there could be maybe a larger two-tiered channel, in which case it may go up. But there's two little legs up at the moment. We froze at the EMA, so... And if you look on Bookmap, the majority of the larger orders are down here. So I don't want to assume that this is a larger channel, which is why I've got rid of the colour. I don't want to assume it's a large channel and get caught going long if this thing's coming back or coming down, because we have had a range. We've had 3 breakouts. All of them have failed temporarily, apart from this one, as we speak. So is it going up? Maybe. Maybe not. Can't think of a time, though, where we've had to muster more patience than we have this last month. So we push down, we may be testing this underside, so this could be a second entry short. See, if you look at Thomas Wade's charts, he's got this now, he's changed his mind. But a few charts ago, he's got the same as me, so it's hard to say where things are going. I wouldn't short just yet, and I wouldn't go long just yet, because as far as a two-tiered channel, it's not looking terrible. But I want a little bit more confirmation than what I've got here. So this video, you hated to be a beginner right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's weird, really, isn't it, with trading? Sometimes you can't even seem to get any luck. It's weird. Even when you go on tilt, 9 times out of 10 when you go on tilt, you still lose. You think you'd get lucky once in a while, wouldn't you? But it's uncanny how it just doesn't work. So as of now, we've had channel break, new low, strong bull bar off this level. Top looks nice, and so far we're pushing up. We are at this crunch level where it could change, but if you look here, channel down with a break, we've pushed quite strongly above that EMA, so I think it's more likely going to go up. Alpine strategy on a real account. Open a position twice, opposite direction, set your stops, wait. If the market moves stronger, you'll make money. Yeah. He's struggling lately. I think he's only got half a dozen accounts at the moment. He blew a stack out, mind you. I think it was a few months ago. He was going away for a week's holiday, and he blew about a dozen accounts on his last stream, which is a real shame. That's not what the start to your holiday you really want. But he's a DJ, isn't he? And I think he makes some reasonable money anyway, so he's got an income. So, but he seems to have times of boom and bust where he'll make really good money and get some payments, and all of a sudden he'll just lose $2,000-3,000 per account. I'm guessing by that he's not really having an effective stop. But uh, but but Nutty seems to be doing better than Alpine at the moment. It was the other way around. Nutty seems to be doing a bit better. See, Nutty, he'll go through his phase of blowing accounts like we all have, but he doesn't generally move his stop massively like Alpine will, because Alpine will either do really well or he'll do well or really bad. But I think Nutty had a good year last year. He's doing well on affiliates, I assure you. He'll be making 6, 7, 8, 10,000 a month on affiliates. So while you've got a nice wage coming in, you can afford. I think he's got 40 odd accounts on the go. But I like him. I like Nutty. He's a nice guy. So what is going on here? Is this coming down or is it going up? I've got two different scenarios here. Trouble is, if that's a channel, it's pulled back more or less all the way to the channel, which is not what you expect in a pullback. So it's either a two-tiered channel, or we're on our way down or something. To be honest with you, I mean, literally this afternoon, since price opened general market opened here, all we've done is chop, 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 chop. So it's not really easy, is it? Interesting. There's a lower high there. Would I take that? I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. Okay, it is working that. Trouble is, I'm just not sure about this, so I'm just okay. Possible second entry long off here, not sure. I wouldn't have taken the lower high now. Now on this chart there is a channel down, but we've had what looks like a spike in channel, so going short is just too risky at the moment. Going long isn't much better either, I don't think. But there will be buyer stops there, don't doubt it. Okay, so it's hard to do anything here, really. There is a lower height. We've had kind of a couple of legs up. There is a lower high there, but it's just hard to know what the hell's going on here, really. I've killed the colour here, which means it's an area of interest. It's not something I'm convinced is going on. I mean, it's been an awful afternoon. In fact, considering, let me have a look. That's where market open. That's what we've done all afternoon. We could be still in this range. We could come down, test the underside, and it may come down. But the fact that we've had a relatively strong move off here, which is in line with this, and there's 4 areas at the top which connect, just tells me not to think about going shorts just yet. Going short just yet. I looked at this as well, Charlie, with a break. Trouble is, we actually pushed up to here and then went up further. So you don't know whether we're going to come back a bit, and then who knows? So we've got a channel down with 2 legs. So let's see if it holds here. There are buyers at 5. Let me have a look. There are buyers right there. So if there are buyers here, have we got like, is this kind of like almost like 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 triple test? Who knows? does get below there, it may have a quick spike. Looks like it's trying to. There are buyers there, 177 contracts sat there. So I'm guessing this probably isn't valid. It had good things about it. See, we've only really touched it 3 times. I wouldn't expect a break already, but who knows? We'll see. If we have a good bounce here, we've had a channel with 2 legs down. If we had a strong bounce here and a high low above the EMA, then I may be interested. CL charts is absolute pants again. Chop, 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 chop. I mean, look, there's nothing you can do here, is there? An hour and a half just doing that. No. Okay, it has broken below there. So let's see if we get a... Oh, okay. Okay, channel break, 2 measured legs to the midline. Let's see if this reacts to the midline. If not, I'd say we're back into the range then, but I'm kind of hoping it will. So we've got buyers at 7,000. Not that I would want to buy there, right in the middle of nowhere. $707.50. There. So sellers at 625 area. There. Channel down, couple of legs up. I can't see. Anybody else with this larger channel? So I'm going to bin it. Gotta get up here for me. So in hindsight now, I don't think that was a bad trade. So we are hitting some sellers here. Buyers at 7,000, which is below price. See, the trouble is, when you have something like that, you're naturally expecting it to try and make a new high, and we didn't. So, do you take that, possibly get trapped and pushed up? It's just one of them things. Uh, Possibly something like that. It's fitting okay at the bottom. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Looks good now. It's one of those things. We had a spike in channel. I noticed there was a few people that put the channel in. When you get a couple of legs down and it pushes up, your natural instinct is, okay, we've got to give it space to go there. And then all of a sudden, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, chop, 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 fail breakout. It came back twice, pushed out again, made another attempt, pushed up again. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes when things move down, things become clearer. It's just kind of the way it is, isn't it? Unfortunately. Some you notice, some you don't. You may be looking at something different. That's the thing. It's not an exact science. That's the thing, isn't it? So it's just unfortunate the way it is, isn't it? But yeah, all of a sudden looks nice. So bearish bar now. You could say there's a failure, technically a failure. Have I got sellers above and below? Channel break new high. I think the safest thing with these, really, sometimes these work, other times they'll catch you out. You got to wait for a lower high, I think. Or maybe, yeah, I suppose a lower high. See, looking at the book map, most of the bigger orders are down here at around about 6, but that's not very low. There's obviously some around the 7,000, which you kind of expect. I don't know 100% whether this channel's valid. It fits there okay, fits there. So far there, we're clearly struggling in the right area, so yeah, which is why if I'm sure it's a channel, I'll put that. If I'm not sure, I'll kill the color. I'll just do the outline. So it just gives me an area where we're looking to see if it is testing. The fact that we've had a bounce here and we've had 2 legs up, and then we've had 2 legs down, 2 legs up, 1 leg down. There may be a break at a new low in one go. So it's kind of giving us the right signals, but we've got a channel straight up there. So yeah, I mean, I put that. If I think it's right, I'll add color to it. If I think I'm not so sure, I'll just leave I'll leave the color out and just put the lines. So it's an area of interest. So channel break, new high. Want to see strong rejection there. Ideally a second entry, but it's not going to happen, is it? I got to look where buyers are as well. There are some buyers at 706. See, when we look to turn down, I want all buyers down below price, which is telling me it's likely to come down then. But with buyers here, you got to be a bit careful because it could come back. You decide to jump into a bear bar, it triggers you and pushes up a bit higher. Let's get rid of this temporarily. Some sellers there. So channel break, new high. Don't want to trade here anyway. There are some sellers at 11.25, which is right there. So buyers there. Sellers at 10 now. Sellers there. So while you got sellers there and buyers there, may start to go sideways. It's just not super clear, is it? We've had a couple of legs back in to the range, and now we're pushing back up again. I don't know. You never know. We may end up having something like that later on in the day. You never know. It's still not terrible, isn't it? Well, you may end up doing that, and that may. Do another 15 minutes, I think. 4 hours on the stream. 30 minutes off. I'm doing a little bit longer lately because there's just not a lot of setups around. 3 hours, I used to be knackered, but I do 4 hours quite comfortably now. What I'm tempted to do from next week is take a break of about 45 minutes at about 6 o'clock UK time. What time do the markets open till? What time does Mac finish? Around about. What time do the markets close? Is it 5? It is 5 o'clock, isn't it? So if I trade till about 3:30 Eastern time, 4:35, that's 8:30, isn't it? If I take a break from 6 to 6:45 and then trade another 45 minutes, I might as well. Often you see trades later in the day. As long as I can physically do it, I'm not too tired, which I'm not. Just take a break, have dinner, and then come back. I may leave my stream going. I don't know how many hours you guys trade till. But I know sometimes if later I have a look in the chat on, let me have a look. Let me go back to yesterday. See how late Thomas Wade trades till. Have a look at his last. Okay, so 8:30 yesterday, Thomas Wade put that out. Was that his last post, was it? Yeah, it was. So he trades till 8:30. That'll be UK time. Pretty sure done on that trade till late. Makes sense. The thing is, if I'm finishing at say 6:30, that's 1:30 Eastern time. It's in the middle of the day, really, isn't it? It seems a shame to. Uh, yeah, I think most people trade to about 8:30 UK time. I'm usually finished at 6. So if I finish at 6 now on for 45 minutes, that'll be 6:45, 7:45. I can come back for an hour and 3/4. Half 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 3.5, 4.5, 5.25 hours. Makes sense if I'm not taking many trades. If there's not many setups, you just got to put more hours in, haven't you? As long as you're not physically knackered, which I'm not. I've done, well, I don't know, 350 on stream. I got here at 2 o'clock, so half an hour. Feel perfectly fine. So, yeah, from Monday, I'm going to do that. Start trading a bit later. Now, if I take a trade earlier on the day, I'll finish at my normal time, 5:30ish, 6 o'clock. But if I don't, it makes sense to trade a bit longer. So 2 legs down. This looks like it's pushing up or attempting to push up. Some buyers down there. Sellers at 16, which is there before the highs. There's a second entry short there. Let's see if it triggers and gives us a failure. Trouble is, on this chart, on my right chart, we've already had a break and a new high and a retest, so quite a lot of buyers around this area here, which is below that bull bar. Buyers there, so I'm not taking that. Yeah, there'll be stops there and there, but probably hit that before the bar's finished. Sellers up there. Trouble is, on this chart, I'm going long into support again. It's a big no-no, really. This isn't clear. We've got 2 legs down, maybe 2 legs up, but I ain't going long into support. That's madness. Okay, I think I'm going to knock on the head there today, folks. We've done just coming up 4 hours on the stream. So from Monday, I'm going to start trading a little bit later. So what I'm probably going to do is go and have some dinner at around about 6 o'clock UK time for around 45 minutes, and then I'll come back. So I might just leave me stream on. So if you guys are watching it, I don't know, you may chat amongst yourself rather than switching it off and restarting it. But it makes sense if there's not a lot of trades around. But if I'm finishing normally at 6 o'clock, what's that, 1 o'clock Eastern time? Like the middle of the day, it doesn't make sense to walk away early without any setups. If there's a possibility of a setup later in the day, which I often see, to be honest with you. So I'll do that from Monday. So I appreciate your company. I'll leave you to it. If you're carrying on trading, fingers crossed. Have a great evening. Another week nearly finished. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all again. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll catch up tomorrow.